I'd like to show you a few more things about this foundation plan. And we're not going to finish this drawing, but I just want to show you some details. So one thing is, how do we make those pier blocks? Let's go up to our layers and let's get our layer for the foundation pier current. Now those pier blocks are square. And what we could do, we could draw lines, go up 16 over 16, so on and so forth, or we could just make a rectangle. I think I'll try that. I'm going to click that button. And I won't take the time to lay out where this thing should go, but I'll just make it out here in space a little bit. So I'm going to click the first corner. See, here's the command, specify first corner. OK, click. Now, notice how in that dynamic input box that's attached to my cursor, that first white box is lit up, and I'm going to type 16 for 16 inches. I won't enter here because enter is going to end the command. Instead, I'm going to hit the tab key, and that will get me over to the next box in the dynamic input. Tab, OK. See how it's got a big old long line in there? But that's okay. I'm going to type 16 right here and enter. Boom. There's my 16-inch square pier block. Okay, now let's leave that for a minute and let's go to our paper space. So I'm going to click my B sheet thing here and go to paper space. And by the way, I have a graphic scale in the title block, but you are welcome, you probably would want to erase that. I think that will just get in the way and we don't need it for this drawing. So that's gone. Now, let's say I want to get my foundation into my viewport here, and I can't see it right now. So I'm going to double click inside the viewport to open the viewport. Keep your eye on this tab right here. Right now it says we're in paper. Watch what happens when I double click inside. Now it says model, and this frame is heavy. So this viewport is open. I can double click outside and close that viewport. Now it went back to paper. I can double click inside and open that viewport. And if I want, I can just click this tab and go back and forth. Okay, so now my viewport's open and I want to zoom so that I can find my drawing thing. So I'll just zoom, zoom, zoom. Oh boy, there it is. It's starting to come into view. That's another one I drew. Here's one. That's the one I want right there. Okay. Now, how do I know what scale to make that? With my viewport open, I'm going to come down to this pop-up list here, the scale list, and here are these standard scales, and we want one of these architectural scales. And if you don't see the one you want, grab this scroll bar and scroll down. I'm going to try 3/16 of an inch to the foot. I think that might work, so I'll click that. Hey, look, that looks pretty good. So I'll pan just to get it located where I want it. And now the next thing I'm going to do is close my viewport before I mess something up. So I'm going to double click outside here, or I could just click that tab. I'll double click outside. All right. Now what I want to show you is these lines. Notice how we used that foundation outline for the footing and it was a nice dashed line, but now that we've scaled our viewport, that thing is the wrong, those dashes are the wrong length. So what I'm going to do, we could go back here to the model space. I'm going to type LT scale, which stands for line type scale. Right now that scale is set at 1, but my viewport is at 3/16 of an inch to the foot, which I calculated already. It happens to be the same as 1 to 64. So 64 is my scale factor. I will enter 64. Look what happened to those lines. Yay! Now I'll go back to my paper space and see how it looks. Not so good. Okay, so now the next thing I need to do is make the paper space line up with the model space. So I'm going to go PS LT scale, paper space LT scale. This is an on-off switch, and I'm going to type I'm going to type 0, the number 0. Okay, still not looking quite right. Now I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to type regen all, regenerate all the viewports. Looky there, there are my dashed lines. Yay. I put this in a PowerPoint for you, but I wanted to show it to you. Now, I would like to put this title of the thing down here in the bottom of my drawing. So I'm going to get a layer. I guess I'll use the dimensions layer to make my title. And this is where the city plan had a dorky looking square down here. We want to have a circle. So I'm going to make a circle. I'm going to type C for circle, although you could go get the circle command. Specify the center point. Okay. And I want a 5/8 circle. Well, this is saying specify the radius. If I made a 5/8 radius, I'd have a giant circle. So I'm going to tell it D for diameter. And now I can tell it 5/8, 5/8. There's my 5/8 circle. That's my bubble. Now's when I'm going to be glad that I had this quadrant O-snap turned on, because I want to make a line and I want to snap it right at that quadrant point of that circle, and I'm going to draw over this way. I don't know how long to make it. I'll just try something. And now I want to put some text in here. I could do multi-line text or single line text. I'll try multi-line text first. Multi-line text. I'm going to write my title. Specify first corner. Okay, click there. Now I could specify the opposite corner, but I don't really know how high that would make it. So see how it says height there? I'm going to type H for height. And I want my, oh, see, the text would have been wrong. So I'm going to type 1/4 because I want my title text to be 1/4. Now I can specify my opposite corner and hope that I make a box that's big enough. And now, looky here, my text editor has opened up, and now I'm going to type foundation and framing plan, main level. And when I'm done, I can come up here, see that check mark, close text editor. Okay, I needed to make my line a little bit longer. I'll just grab that grip and stretch it out. Now I'm going to make some text down here for my scale. This time I think I'll use a different kind of text just to show you. I'm going to use single line text. So I'll come down here, about the right spot, start point, click. Okay, and it says specify height. Well, looky there, it's got 1/4 inch in there. I don't want that. I want this text to be 1/8. I want 1/8 high text. Rotation angle 0. Yep, I want it level. And now type the text. I'm going to type 3/16 inch equals 1 foot 0 inches. And with single line text, you can just hit enter to place it on there. Looky there, so that's looking pretty good. I'll go back out and look at my drawing. Another thing I want to do is go down here and change the name of the drawing and put my name in here. And you know what I did wrong? What I should have done the very first time I opened this title block, and I forgot to show you, the first thing I should have done was save as. I should have gone big red A, save as, and I'm going to save this as, okay, I'll just call it Robertson Assignment 4, and I'm going to save it in my folder, because I could have been happily drawing along and all of a sudden something crashed and I would have lost all that work. So you should decide how much time you can afford to lose, and that's how often you should save. And I should have saved 15 minutes ago. All right, well, there we are. We're starting to develop a floor plan. I hope that was helpful.